全军出击！
你们好，可爱的小灵魂们。哼。 样是不是简单多？跟随我的指引吧。
Oh my god, would you look at that? We're back to cast some League of Legends. So sorry, folks, for leaving you on the lurch for grand majority of what happens in this. This will be the case for the last little while. I see Top Esports has been kind of running through FPX a little bit. I'm so sorry for leaving you all alone with their cast. But basically, Sam and I have to learn German to keep up our visas, which means it's going to be the case. It's going to be a little bit scuffed, so I hope this isn't ruined your experience a little bit. Not too much. As Sam and I will get back into things just after this. So that'll be fine in terms of the volume. Sorry if it's messed up your volumes for you. 21 minutes into this game, let's get back into it. Top Esports, who are the people that are really fed? Well, most people on the map.
Yeah, there was a winner of the 1v1 being Care.
Yep, Care won the 1v1. Don't think it's helped them that much, Sam.
No, I don't think it has either, unfortunately, for them. They seem to be in a pretty dire position. Poor old Shadow there on the Skarner 0 and 4. We've seen a lot of Skarners fumble in recent weeks. Dracula on that Poke Varus, once again Giga fed. And 369 back to his Jace waves of recent weeks and patches. He's back to that old carry champion of his, 4-1 and 2, in a phenomenal position this game. But as ever, the man who's got the lead is Canavi, who is once again diving on it, and Care just does not get to play the game. The bullet time is actually solid, but it's cancelled out well. 369 murders the RE Foxgirl in the dirt, and the rest of the team is swiftly rounded up. In another world where there's a bit more gold, those moments might have hurt more for FPX. Unfortunately, they are down 12,000 gold and an Exodus.
It's a bit of a luxury coming into cast for only a couple of minutes for one game. Wow, I'd call that a successful product, won't you? FPX losing, well, they did win that side select, but that's kind of all the winning they've done here. A lot of comfort champions for them if you look at Care on the Ari. Assum and Dre liking their champions too, they'll have to go into the second game of the series without those tried and tested picks. Top Esports, easy day at the office, isn't it? 23 minutes in, Nexus falling.
Auto attacks roll, you shred people's seats, you steal people's resists. And Corky shreds them with Gatling gun. And thus, between the two of you, people are left with no resist, which can be kind of sad. The response will be the Alistair, a standard matchup we've seen a hell of a lot of. Now between the Alistair and the Orm, big frontline, two very slippery backline members, plus honestly the Nidalee as well, very mobile too. Care in particular here on this Yone is going to have to be very careful about when he pulls his ultimate. There's a lot of ability to just jump away from when he presses R. But that'll be the play. AP junglers, double AD backliners for both sides, although I suppose the Yone, bit of a weird one in the sense he's really a frontline dive person. There you have it. Just did. You have to deal with it. Let's let the crowds have a quick word, shall we?
How was the crowd, Sam? I couldn't hear.
It was nice.
Nice.
They had a nice yell.
I'm happy for you.
Don't we all love an occasionally nice yell? Thank you for the gift sub. I saw that come on through.
Appreciate that.
Oh,
I saw that gigantic emote earlier too, which I appreciate a lot.
I'm just saying, guys.
Hang on a second.
That's a level 1 thing.
Yeah.
You know how we can celebrate this level 1, Alex? With two more subs, so we can hit 800 subs, guys.
True. Yeah.
Two more. Any more for any more? 2 more subs? Do you have started it off?
Look, Sam. The thing is, people are already so generous.
I know. Look, I'm going to be shamelessly shilling, as Shadow will be shamelessly killing chickens.
Yeah, man. You know,
got a grind.
Last year, we had... Thank you for this, Ross.
Thank you, Gio.
Yeah, so last year, I think a lot of people realized...
Hey!
Thank you for 800 subs.
800 subs, my god.
God, that's so many people tuning in to watch this. Last year, people got tired of seeing Nidalee in bad players' hands. I think that's fair to say. I think there were a class of champions that got, like you get a driving license, you get a Nidalee pass. And if you are good enough, you can play it. In the LPL, there are only a couple of players which could really gain that. One of them was Canavi on JDG last year. Even if JDG last year was bad in the early game, if Canavi had something like a Lee Sin or a Nidalee, he would kick the enemy team's teeth in. Now he's on a team like Top Esports, just won a split coming into this as well. having so many strong standard lanes to leverage off of for something like this, Canavi on Nidalee is a terrifying prospect.
go.
Immediately invading onto the other side, quick clear, trying to find Shadow.
And the javelin toss. Shadow's now going to know what's going on. Throws down that bushwhack. Shadow going to try and get some blooming blows down. But of course, at this point in the game, the Nidalee tends to win out in these 1v1s. Lands another. Does get that camp, but still Shadow in danger with the red buff ticking. The autos flying on through. There'll be a primal surge available. Another javelin toss. Tried to backstep the Q. Couldn't quite. Autos are still good though. And Canavi gets damaged down.
So there are a couple of small raptor wolves taken away, and yes, he doesn't get the big one. Canavi still forces Lilia out of topside, and Lilia is now recalling. Because the thing is, you look at the minimap, right? You can't walk into enemy bot side because Tristana is pushing and Ezreal and Alistar are pushing. This is when top esports are at their best, brawling in the lanes, allowing Canavi to go forwards.
Jackie Love just cleansed, but there's a push shield now coming out from Assume with that barrier. Flash away from Jue, one last one. Good flash on forwards, gets it. Jackie in danger, not quite low though, can't get the kill back. Oh wait, it's still flashing forwards. Oh, Jackie and Chris.
Well, we said that. Hey, top esports is at their best, brawling in the lanes, allowing Canavi to play for his own game. Yeah, this is also what happens. Sometimes they can lose the plot a little bit. Rarely happens regionally, but Jack Love and Chris get 1 kill into the Ezreal, but give 2 over to Assume's Corki. That is not what they wanted. Now suddenly Shadow has an inroad towards 369's top lane.
Of course, Shadow has definitely been lacking a camp or two here, as Canavi is headed back over towards his blue side quadrant, which is yet to be taken. Was attempting to double scuttle there, couldn't quite do it. Cream now being about to be jumped on, but here is Crisp off the reset, and Canavi looking for a javelin toss. Jue won't quite be hit by it. And as Care also rebound his soul. His astral projection skills are just better than everyone else's. Go to him for all your Seance readings.
We're on the, I believe we're on the new patch now where Yone, in fact we have even seen this affect a game recently, where Yone will take CC through his E now. So if he uses his E and goes pings back, he's not cleansed of it immediately. Jack Levy's heading over, does have...
Everyone's coming.
Yeah, this really is top people saying, let's just keep forcing forwards towards this Nidalee, get Canavi ahead. Shadow has only got a couple of camps in, Hex Flash in.
Try and find the angle. Jackie now in danger, but Shadow already so low. A flash and a pounce will bring down the deer in the forest. Cougar wins that one. That feels appropriate to nature and the way things go. The rest of the fight, though, looking pretty good for top esports as well. Landing a javelin toss onto the Krugs, but they were already aggroed onto the bot lane. So Jackie and Crisp will back away and allow a kill to go over to Nidalee.
But look, this is worst case scenario for Shadow particularly. He is a farming jungler that is half the CS of his opposing farming jungler, and you just gave a kill over to them as well. So they're going to go back for Fated Ashes and whatever the hell components they want. We'll go back towards this CVT and bot side. It was initially a level 3 versus level 2. Soon manages to Valkyrie forwards once they get that extra XP up. Jackalov does flash forwards, but then, you know, tower shots are a thing. Doesn't have the ability to flash out of the Foss bomb because he just used that to secure the kill. Bit of an overestimation, but it was close.
It was, and in fairness, I would rather see our bot lanes try that kind of thing and continue to do it. Gold lead only 200 or so, and then what it's also done is kept the pressure up, as you say, because Canavi has still not fully taken his blue side quadrant from level 1. That is his level 1 blade buff, that's his level 1 wolves.
The Blaubuff, as I'm sure they call it in German.
That was surprisingly Austrian of you. I feel the sudden need to go dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Shea has flash, has to ult. Does he have to flash? Maybe.
Get to the tower, as I will do in my worst Arnie impression. Shea goes down about half HP and pulls away.
Ordered side on the top side, class hand. You son of a bitch. By the way, I watched the first Predator movie for the first time the other day. I was surprised at how good that film was. Sam only watched Predator 2, which is much worse, sadly. Shadow, he's still not in the happiest position, you know. He needs his bot lane to come over.
Can he go for this invade? This blue buff being up and stuff, and Canavi's not here. He's on Grub, so I think Shadow's going to say, look, I just need to get this back, and he's going to go farm this whole quadrant.
The most important resource you have as a jungler is time. The fact that Canavi has to spend time on the grubs means that Shadow can get something back in the individual jungle matchup. Often that is the war of pro junglers, is where do you invest that time? Is it an early gank? Is it getting ahead in the early matchup? Or is it objectives? Often it's one of those three things, particularly in the early game. You can see that Canavi losing those 2 camps. It's kind of a 4-camp swing, 2 away from you, 2 towards the enemy jungler. Canavi is still half a level up though on Shadow, gets that objective. And if you find Shadow, will kill the hell out of him. So Shadow needs to be very careful.
Level 6 to level 5, of course, it's a Nidalee, so the level 6 not as valuable. We'll still look to go on forwards. No Lilting Lullaby available. I mean, Shadow is just dead to rights. There's nowhere to go. He's got a bomb on his head, and Cream will immediately ensure that dynamite fishing also works in other forms of hunting.
Yeah, there's a bit of overfishing problem here. Canavi, we said
Yeah,
four camps.
there's deers in the fish.
Yes, deers. You know that like mooses.
Meese?
You know they can swim, and they are.
That's
You know, one of the only natural predators of moose are killer whales. Because they're one of the few things which have the balls to actually go after. Moose are terrifying, by the way. I say
That's a Mazel fact.
that would not surprise me actually. It has a lot of cougar facts because I can't believe they used to look after big cats.
Oh, that's what he.
That's so
Sorry,
cool.
of course that's what it was. Sorry, just clarifying.
I-
Sorry, Landon.
So
I had to do it to you.
insinuating things. More voice impressions for Sion, please, in German if possible. What's cowards in German so we can scream
Well,
that?
yeah. Any German speakers? What does Sion yell when he ults?
Many things very loudly. Crisp has Ignite. Yeah, Cream can jump forwards, goes between the towers. Kaz now got his E in a bad place.
So much danger. Just waiting. Crisp is waiting for the pulverize. It's a matter of time. Decent flash to Q3 into the R. Trying to get something. Shadow's not coming on over. Cream will get the kill, but will be turned around. Surely. Lilting Lullaby required, but they do get the kill.
Clean turnaround from Care and that position. 369 puts the forwards.
Fleeglinger is what he shouts. Thanks, Angie. I see you in chat.
I swear to God. Feigling. Or Feigling.
It'll be Feiglinger, actually. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's not thinking because there's no E in the end. So.
There is, it's plural.
Thanks, folks, for helping us practice our German live on air. Canavi, he's taken another camp away. How do you play as this poor deer in the forest here? This is the predator-prey relationship we have in our ecosystem of the jungle right now.
Not gonna lie, I'm constantly having this issue with German. To go back to this, is hang on, we're gonna talk about Care. Care, I'm trying to talk about German lessons.
Care is tot.
Why are you dying?
Care is tot. There you go. He's dead. Throw
He's
that one over
tot.
for it. Yeah, that's what I said.
I thought you said is.
East.
East, that's fair.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got headphones on.
Yeah. Well, I don't, Sam.
Yeah, thank you for that.
It's all
by the
good.
way. Maybe it's
This
looking at
was, honestly, given the situation, this is as good as Care can play it. Gets out of the pulve, which would have been instantly, killed him. Gets the ult for the CC, guaranteed 12 seed. Care can't do much more here. The problem is he is so far behind in terms of map state. The whole team is. It's very hard to get much out of this.
I missed this bit. It was Chris.
Yeah, Chris gets dubstep ignited by Jway. Bow wow, 2 for 1 actually.
It is. Still top esports, 2,000 gold ahead because what is being lost for all these players is a lot of camps. It's a lot of waves. Yeah, they're occasionally getting a kill back, but top esports are still ahead in the kills, and every one of these plays is coming at massive opportunity cost.
I'll say Toppies was probably giving a kill or two more than they should have done, but 2,000 gold at this time sounds ridiculous. Cream might actually jump on shit, by the way. This is not looking great.
Yeah.
Das ist nicht sehr gut.
It is not. And for the record, yeah, I know EI is pronounced I. However, my issue is I spent a long time learning Japanese,
yeah.
where
double pulve.
Oh, that's a good double pulve. I've got to stop talking about language lessons when there's violence on screen. I do my job.
The language of League of Legends is
Violence.
unspeakable violence.
Yeah.
Remember that one comic which was like, all right, my turn, unspeakable violence. I think it was by Shen Comics.
That would make sense.
Which, used to go by the name of Owl Turd, but then renamed. Can I just teleport it? Hang on a second. There's an ult from Sion.
Yeah, Cream needs to get beyond the wall to be less at threat there, but that is the majority of Cream's health bar. We're going to go towards the grubs.
369.
Is in an angle as well. 369 looks for the Ornhorn, finds it, and that'll be a Magnet Storming Rel, but really it's a Magnet Storm and a teacup, possibly a Grave. As Jackie loses out the 1v1 to assume on the other side. That's potentially quite big. It's on the other side. Lilting Lullaby into the face. His Canavi is likely going to die, but a flash out from Shadow means that's not going to case. Repop of the soul. Canavi doesn't die to the fake ult from Zed.
Still has flash.
Headbutt away. Shadow's now in danger. Away from his team. Nice combo from Chris. Lands the swell seed into the blooming blows. Trying to get the passives down. And close for FPX. But no banana. Or importantly, grubs really.
Canavi doesn't even blow his flash. How? How does he not even blow his flash? That I would have panicked so much. Top esports, 5-1 in grubs. And we have another game, folks, but what else can we say? It is regional top esports. They have done so much work here in this year.
Reminds me of that time that Canavi threw Shadow 16-3 through the Baron Pit wall in the top esports versus FPX final. Regular season match.
Yeah, it's not quite Hell in a Cell, and I can't quite
Into
think
the
of
grubs.
Oh, that's what happened. There was a buster shot to cancel a teleport midway through the fight. Missed that one. Really important moment, because that Sion, with that ult, could absolutely provide this early game damage. People forget how much damage, early game damage, Ornn and Sion and champions like that can do from tank rolls. We'll go back to a replay of this. Yeah, you know, Jackie ends up getting jumped on by Assume. The Ornalt not going towards him. The early kills going on to the Corki make a lot of difference. And actually the Valkyrie gets good damage for an extra couple of ticks of there too. So Assume at least holding up his end of the bargain. That's a phrase I use quite a lot in case you want to call me out on that at some point.
You're not holding up the end of your casting bargain, Alex.
No. Yeah, but...
It's in the contract. More words.
What happens if they are compound words? Because if it's like in German, you get paid by the word. Don't you just do the single word? Oh, that's a dive onto the bot side. Alright. Shit, he will die slowly but surely.
Crisp tanking up a lot of damage there because he has unbreakable will, and Scion is a little more breakable currently.
I have a fun fact. Maybe I should wait until someone redeems it. Well, whatever, I'll do it anyway. You know there is Roman numerals for 4 is IV. That's the way people say it. Technically, also correct to say I as well, the 4 I's in a row.
Okay.
Because people who do the chiseling for words would do it by the letter. So they get paid double for that way of writing form. So even though technically it's against the grammar of it, because of societal reasons and economic reasons, it's actually correct
hilarious.
as well.
Jackie, again, eating a lot of damage from this Corki, who is in a pretty good spot this game. Jackie down a level here as well. Will be fine eventually on the edge, but not with that Trinity Force yet. It's actually significantly weaker than this Corki, who has picked up a lot of the early gold. The thing is, on the other side, this Tristana is insanely fed.
There are 2 AD carries in this game for top esports, and one of them has a 30 CS lead and is about to get the 5th turret plate from that bot side tower. I guess the first tower of the game. It has a cull as well, as Sam points out on the screen. FPX need to make power plays kind of now before the Tristana hits critical mass. This is Cream's Tristana 2. Last year went on a legendary win streak, even against, actually thinking about it, some incredible international competition. People are like, oh, Cream's bad, unless he's on Tristana. He could beat Chovy on Tristana. He could beat Faker on Tristana at points too, you know. They did take games off of world-class teams with Cream on this pick this time last year.
Very much dead, and on the other side of that is 369 in the frontline race, is way ahead of curve. You've got this Nidalee way ahead of curve, and that is going to be problematic. Yes, Shadow's at least got level 11, at least got the Leandry's completed. Sorry, he's not even level 11, he's at level 8. He's 2 levels down on Canavi. But, you know, he's having a rough time here, but that's still a very difficult position to be in. The mid turret going down is helpful, but I fear with a minute or so until Herald, I don't know how long or how freely that difference in turrets is going to stand, especially when it doesn't feel like anyone's going to stand against this Tristan, who's, again, as we said, a single CS off a cull cash-in and nearly at a second item.
You have the damage. Now, often team fights are a combination of damage and then also being able to safely deal that damage, whether that's a lot of CC, whether that's range, whether that's a tank frontline. They have the tank frontline. A 2-kill Ornn is so far ahead. Jue might go in for a flash play here. The problem is, if it does, you might get a teleport from the Ornn. Do they keep on playing?
Great angle at the very least, forcing a flash out of Canavi. Not bad, actually, from FPX. Getting the ult, getting a flash. You could do a lot worse there.
I will say, I was really quite afraid that Ornn would teleport into that river brush and come in with an ult. Remember, this is a 2-kill Ornn. The fact that he didn't pull the teleport shows me that the comms from top esports is, we're safe, we can let you stay in that side lane. That's exactly what happens. So now FPX, they do blow that flash on Canavi. Could be worse. But they do lose out pressure on the map again. Just as the Herald is spawning, 369 can hold on to that teleport now and use that to impact that Herald fight. And with 5 grubs, huge Tristana and a Herald potentially in pocket, top esports can genuinely look to break inner turrets even at this timestamp.
Overgo FPX, though. They're the ones in the river first, but top esports going to come over and fight. Remember, no ult on the Alistair, though, can make this interesting. Teleport's now begin to fly. Cream on a flank angle, but he is a Tristana, not the best flanker. Needs to be a bit wary as he is spotted out by that far side alteration down at 2000 HP as the Herald. Smite fight is won by Canavi. Flash forwards from Shadow, looking for the lilting lullaby. Will get it onto 2, but well buffered through by 369 on the other side. Into the backline goes Care with a fate sealed, will surely bring down that Nidalee. Does so, but the rest of the fight is top esports. They've gotten 2. Care knocked up by the searing charge, and down goes Yone.
You got the Cougar pelt, but what has it cost you? You've got Tristana killing a turret already, the 5 grubs, the Herald in the inventory of 369 who immediately summons it in mid lane. Top esports off of this get themselves the winning kills, the winning objectives, and they're going to take turrets as well. FPX did not set up the map well for this, and they did not understand the consequences of that fight. This is going to completely break the dam open.
It is already 7,000 gold ahead. I think it's going to be a very swift day today, at least in terms of this series. They'll back away, damage done. And just look at the items, there's a lot of gold still to spend. I am excited to see what happens when people return to base. Look at the replay again, because this was an interesting split fight.
Yeah, I mean, 369 puts himself right in front of the team and lines himself up to get a really good ult and also stand in front of Canavi. Look at his position. He just puts himself between the Scion and the Lilia as best as he can. You can't stop the Yone. You can't stop that. But Care at least only gets one with his ult. It's not Canavi and Jaculov. It's not getting onto multiple people. Some of the damage survives. Cream's completely fine on his own too. That Tristana mops up a couple of kills. And the map is completely open now. You've got taken all of the outer turrets. You have a 6 going on 7,000 gold lead, and Cream can very successfully 1v1 anyone on the map. He's very, very close to 3 items at 18 minutes. If he gets towards a Lord Dominates regards, while Scion is also down 1.6k individually, where is your front line? It just isn't applied.
And again, he's not gone towards tier 2 boots. He's got happy enough on the free ass boots, which can sometimes be a risk if you feel like, look, I need the attack speed or I need the defenses. But right now, having those raw damage windows has been very, very potent. 369 tries to go for the volcanic rupture into the searing charge. Can't quite do it, but now Care. Potentially a threat from Chris. We'll back away. There was a little question in chat that I know has been answered, but for those of you who are a little bit newer to watching League of Legends or not watching that much regularly, the little counter under the turrets that looks like a sort of black rose emblem is exactly that. It's for the blood petals, the roses that now spawn on the rift. Often marked where people have died, by the way. That's what they're kind of grave markers for violence on the rift. And if you attack them, you get them for your team. They are a global buff for your team, and they give you a little bit of experience and a little bit of adaptive force, and they do add up.
We have had them in the game for, 4 months at this point, but it feels like they're kind of hidden to the point where you actually should bring them up every now and again, especially when you have the Ruinous Atakan on the Rift, which spawns a grow over them. Canavi just picked up one of the ones which counts as 3 that. The extra XP, the extra adaptive force will very much go a long way. Care can't even take himself an outer turret. FPX have taken mid lane outer turret, which is, of course, the most important one, but they haven't opened up the side lanes at all. And it feels pretty bad when your Yone is down in XP versus an Ornn and can't deal with him in a side lane.
Shit, gets jumped on by Canavi, who just hops right on out the decimating smash. The damage, even from 2 poke champions, is still adding up on this Scion, who's still caught an item and a half. The Hollow Radiance helps versus this Nidalee, but I'm also just going to say, you're doing that into double AD carry, my friend. I know Ornn does some magic damage. That's still a rough item to feel like you need to build first.
Teleport up towards the top side. Cream, where's he going with this? I guess what he's trying to do is maybe do... Well, they're changing the lane assignments. That's what they're doing. Because they want Cream in this top side. No Dragon up, of course. I suppose that might be a bit of a mistake with the Atakan up, but it's not like FPX can really rush it that well, especially with a 2,000 gold deficit in the jungle. Lilia not happily power clearing anymore. Canavi is still taking his camps. He has 4 camps of his own up on the other side. Is it 4? 3 rather. 3, sir. 3.
Cream off that teleport and that wave did earn himself Lord Dominic's regards, which is there. 3 items versus 1.5 for Scion now. Oof.
If you do want to, talk about Tristana throwing the holy hand grenade at them and it goes 1, 2, 5, 3, sir. 3.
I'll do it. We can do that.
We can do that. So if you do that line, I'll chime in at some point in the team fight.
So with a bomb on someone's head?
Yep.
Okay.
If it's appropriate, Sam, just make sure it's clear and that I understand it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that'll be really good.
Alright, gonna throw a bomb on. 1, 2, 5,
3, sir!
Hey, they died!
You say 3 to end off the quote. God damn it, Sam, am I working with an amateur here? Easy kill on such a way.
Isn't it 5? Because that's the idea is I count too far and you go to 3.
So you go 1, 2, 5. I say 3, sir.
And you go
You
3.
say 3. What you did was yay! I'm working with amateurs here, Sam.
You're not wrong. Oh dear. We're gonna get that to car.
I even explained it in excruciating detail. Could have done it. Wouldn't have been. Maybe I should have done it. Maybe I should have done it in German. Ein, zwei, drei,
fünf.
Oh god.
3.
Oh god. Well, I think this game has gone on to silliness. It has been for a little while.
Die her. Die.
I'm actually choking on coffee.
This conversation with Jin's nightmare, it was a bit. Hello, Cloud Strife. What are you doing outside of Midgar? How's Tifa these days?
Oh, man. I'm kind of still of two opinions of what they've done with Zach Fair's story, because obviously he's still around in a way that he wasn't in the original. Crisis Core is one of my favorite, very, very favorite games ever, and one of those games where I feel like a lot of people didn't play because it was on PSP. But Really good game. I enjoyed it. One of the better JR... Well, technically not even really that JRPG. It was more kind of... Because it was less about the turn-based combat stuff.
True. I think the thing with the JRPGs, you have a guarantee... You are guaranteed...
Oh, Cream has Lord Doms.
Yeah, she does not enjoy that experience at all. This is not a JRPG. This is a horror game.
Yeah, this is Toho. This is bullet hell now. Tristana, way too much high caliber ordnance flying at that Sion at this point.
And you know that Ezreal that was behind now even has gotten a Trinity Force upgrade to bring him ahead of curve again. So people are starting to get those ornaments. Used to be Trinity Fusion used to be the name.
Oh, Astrol popped.
Tried looking at that headbutt into the wall when looking for a kill onto Assume afterwards with the pulverize from that taxi. 369 now teleporting in. Over comes Sion, who once again yells Villinger, whatever the word is, I forget it. It's Villinger, I think it's actually what it actually is. And there are no cowards at top esports. They are down to go and fight. The Lilting Lullaby comes on down, but to what end? There's the cleanse coming on through, which allows Jackie to keep attacking this turret.
Cat jumps forwards, but he really regrets that decision. Can't get the kill as he jumps in. And Top Esports clean up shop. FPX have only... Their last game was a 24-minute stomp. This one is at 24 minutes and it's just holding on, but it looks like it'll also be done in short order. Top Esports have taken no prisoners here.
They have not. I'll take that turret. Cream is so ungodly strong. Remember why people love this champion or for him. He thought about taking the Hex Gate and Jway said no.
I think it's really interesting actually that Cream went for the upgraded Lord Dominate's Regards over something like the Infinity Edge. I don't know Infinite Edge. I don't know what it gives you. Does it give you extra armor penetration actually? Maybe it does. I'm not sure.
Well, Infinity Edge upgrades?
No, the Lord Dominate's Regards, because I was wondering why I don't come in there. Of course, it gives you crit chance. It gives you AD and armor pen. So I'm kind of swinging a miss there. And that means the front line's completely out of position. Look how well Ornn is positioned to kind of peel for his team, stand in the middle of them, stand between Damage and him, and how poorly Sheer did that on the other side. Playing a tank can sometimes be quite a quiet business. Shadow jumped onto by Jackie Love. Doesn't get the Dream Dust onto him either. Here comes Dway, but it feels like it's too late. Once again, the God of Peel makes himself known. 369 peels the enemy team off of his carries and lets them have a free fight.
Well, there's not 3 dead, there's only 2 so far, but unfortunately I feel for Shadow and Sheer, they're going to have to run the wrong way, away from their base. Shadow's going to reset. Sheer will once again yell cowards.
Feigling!
I think it's Feiglinger. It's a plural.
Right, okay.
So yeah, but there's more than one coward. There's more than one Feigling.
That's great, Sam. That's great. Well, shit. He's not really going to be around to see his base fall at this point, is it? Did they clear the wave? No. Tristana has a 6.4 thousand gold lead, 4 items, and is sat in the base.
Standing there and autoing. You're my masterwork sculpture, Sion. Eat fire.
If that ain't aura farming, I don't know what is. Cab has the bomb on his head, goes in for an ult, but is that going to be enough? I doubt it.
Cream now gets smoked. Doesn't really die from it. Clearly not a high enough level paladin. As soon we'll go Valkyrie. Oh my god, I didn't get a chance to say either 1 or 2. Never mind 5 or 3 set. Now they're going to be a lilting lullaby. The shattering strike claims the kill. Actually, Lilia's burn does, but I thought the Q might have.
Oh man, well, Cream does go down. He still has a 6.3 individual advantage. He's on 4 items. He's gonna have even more than that.
Shot flicker blades.
No, he had that for this fight.
Oh,
What he did there is he ended up selling a ward to get his boots upgrades available.
Okay,
well, Care ended up getting Jackie Love at least. It could have gone worse, I suppose. Actually, all things said and done, getting 3 in the base,
not bad.
Not bad actually. Yeah, I mean, this damage is absolutely absurd. Assume did not get to live that much. No. I'm very surprised he got hit by that, actually. I guess it bounced off of the wall and splashed on him in midair.
I think it hit as he pressed W, so the animation of it landing was a little bit muted. Either way, the kill's in. Canavi has got a book in inventory, of course he does. Still got a Seeker's Arm Guard. Nearly at 5 items is this just on. You've got 2 on Yone. 2. You are 3 items ahead.
What else do you say, Care? Care has been hard diffed here. This is such a big mid diff. Such a big jungle diff too. Canavi, MVP of game 1. Cream has enough range that he can fire over the back of the pit now, doing the Caitlyn Classic. And yeah, that Tristana does 1,000,000 damage per second with, I don't know, nothing FPX can really do about it. Top Esports, the only kills they've given over is because they felt a bit tee-hee-ha-ha funny flip, and they've given 1 or 2 freebies over that. We're at 27 minutes. I thought this game might have actually ended by now. Dway might go for that, but cancels it out. FPX not feeling like they can pull the trigger.
This is why meteorology is such an inexact science, right?
Yeah.
You can see a magnet storm coming, and it just peters out. Doesn't happen.
I don't really... Well, meteorologist. Oh, right. I mean, it's bad forecast, I guess, then.
Yeah.
Tao's gonna die. The last one outside of the Nexus turrets themselves. Inhibs will fall. Baron buff is up. I don't think FPX can wave clear this, folks.
There's another mark on top of 369 head, which he doesn't care. There's another bomb, and Sheer eats the damage, yelling once again about the cowards in the game. But 369 goes forwards, gets a massive volcanic rupture. Assume losing that 1v1. It's a decent chunk on the other side. Sheer goes down to the zombie form, but it means nothing at all. You finally kill off Cream again. But to what end? The rest of your team is just dead. Your base is gone. And Top Esports Goomba Stomp FPX into the dirt. Still undefeated. Top Esports 3-0 in series.
The Phoenix left and are playing some boots mind games there. I think Ezreal looks quite good here. Because of these last picks locked in by anyone's legend, I think IG are okay going for the full physical damage composition. You have really good use of saying, look, if you go towards Ninja Tabi, you're going to struggle without Merc Treads versus the Sejuani. I think JJ has been incredible on the Sejuani too. I like the draft which IG have got away with. I think that it has good range. I think that it has good initiation. Invictus Gaming do have some range on the other sides we worried about with the double AD carries, but AL, I think they're going to have to work a little bit harder to make their team work. They're going to have to land some good swell seeds, some good Varus poke.
Some questions about the itemization, as you said, like Shanks could theoretically go steel caps. You've got enough safety with a W, perhaps. Maybe you can do things obviously like the on-hit Varus and try to build tankier items as you go on, but like, let's let the crowds gyro for a second.
欢迎来到英雄。敌军还有3线。
Solid AL turn up, but the Invictus Gaming crew once again so huge. The names on that team alone. The Shy, one of the most popular people in China. Rookie not miles behind. They were the first team to bring home the gold for the LPL at the international level in terms of worlds. Been a few MSI wins and stuff before that, but that elusive World Championship trophy first claimed back in 2018, and ever since they have been LPL heroes, national heroes, bluntly, for a lot of China in the LPL.
It's really hard to describe the place in the community pantheon that the Invictus Gaming Worlds winners have and how popular they are. They did break the Korean era of dominance alongside RNG as well with the MSI, but it really was that Worlds which made a difference. Invade coming through, Tarzan wanting to go into the Raptors level 1 like Lilia's tend to, but there is a Sejuani here as his rookie. They get some poke down.
2v2, 1v1. The top lane is trading out as the mid jungles do the same. Raptors under fire. Rookie with the Q3 gets a bit of a chunk. Shy and Flandre still trading. Damage is getting pretty dicey here for everyone. Shanks is tanking the Raptors. We'll take some here. Level 2 not quite screwed. JJ is in danger. Rookie looking to get a kill. The flash not over, but the Q3 secures one back. Flash forwards from Tarzan will not secure JJ, but the health bars are better. It's a real trade of the camp.
1-for-1 in the early game, but Tarzan can go from Raptors to Raptors because he is still so healthy. Doesn't get level 2 off of this, though. That is worth noting. JJ very much slowed down. Has to take a recall. Has to go back immediately. Very, very far behind. We were talking about how this jungle matchup could be so important for these teams. Tarzan getting ahead early. JJ set behind. That is what AL wants.
Tarzan was dithering about which way he wanted to path there. Was initially pathing towards Wolves, and now going through the mid lane. We'll see exactly where he decides to go. Is going to go down towards the spot side of the map, try and match the Lilia at least a little bit.
I mean
otherwise.
JJ, not Tarzan.
Sorry, it's the one, JJ.
Oh, Shy, the Shy?
Hang on, he's in danger. Flash on forward for the autos, got the field around him. Needs an auto, where's the hammer switch? Got it, gets the kill with the empowered passive auto.
The Shy gets a solo kill in his lane. You can love him or you hate him, but you have to respect him. Level 3 hit. Did teleport back towards that lane, of course, died at the level 1. He was the kill that anyone's legend got onto them. But that kill back with the electrocute Jace no less as well for that early burst against the Ambessa, becoming very important in these early trades.
No grasp, no conqueror, no phase rush even. Old school Jace styles, gets the value there.
I love how in the interview, I believe it was Shanks saying, yeah, Invictus Gaming love to skirmish, so we're going to pick some champions that can skirmish as well. Well, the skirmishing began before camp spawned. I believe he's right on that one.
Violence occurred. 1, 2, 5.
3, sir.
3! That work?
I mean, yes, but it's the wrong time to do it, Sam.
Okay.
It led to absolutely nothing,
Okay,
Sam.
well,
Again, I'm
okay.
working with amateurs here, folks.
Well,
I'm trying my best.
The problem is later on in the game, Alex, where it does mean something. Actually, that's a nice Q3.
You go 1, 2, 5, 3, sir. 3. You make it quick, Sam.
Okay, he auto so fast later.
You just... whatever.
Okay, hang on, charging for wall. Gala not going to quite get wall time. We'll still cleanse. I don't know if we needed to do that. But either way, someone are down.
He was afraid maybe... I think it might have been a panic one, because I think he was afraid of the Ignite coming down immediately and wanted to kind of basically Captain Jack the Ignite. But that is a summoner for free. You're absolutely right to call that out.
Jack picks up that Scuttlecrab bot side. Now looking to look for that ganky mid lane. Shanks will throw down another side of that bomb. Looking to get a decent chunk, but there is the Spirit Cleave to deny a lot of the explosion damage. Can't quite find the angle. As Tarzan was currently in JJ's jungle. Won't find too much more. The Shy gets a big chunk.
Shy with that electrocute really controlling his top side there. The big thing about that mid lane player is that Rookie was trying to stay in range long enough to get the Sejuani passive. That was the big thing. But JJ, no flash to follow up to confirm that. And I don't know whether his Q must have been on cooldown as well. Shy. Those electrocute trades really working out. Now, Jace does beat the Ambassador in a 1v1. I think going for the electrocute just doubles down on that matchup. It's not for the grasp or something like that, but you kind of slowly eke out, you get tankier as things go on. This is about just raw, brutal damage. And now Flandre is going to have to give up plates.
Not much you can do about that one. The level advantage is nasty. Again, it's only a Doran's Blade in the tier, but the damage is still just great from the base. Especially if the Shy keeps hitting those shot blasts, keep finding the spacing to get the autos down. Flandre is just not able to get in range and trade back until just now. That's decent damage back, though. As the Sundering Slam does a lot of work with that cunning swipe as well. Good trade from Flandre.
He is a lucky Hex Tech inventor. Did these two have a fight in Arcane? No,
Over
not
Mel.
direct. Well, no, not directly. They didn't have a combat scene, but hey, you know, this is an AU where Ambassador's getting revenge on her daughter's ex. Good stuff. Kyle up towards top side, as is Mako. Mako was there to protect the wave, and now Kyle there to protect Flandre. Of course, Grubs are spawning now. This is a very different rotation, because typically you see the AD carries rotating with them. Not this time. Top laners, well, a little bit late to it. It's a late rotation up towards top side, as we saw 2v2 stay down there. Gala recalling, going towards top side, on spawn for the Grubs. Where's Hope going? He's in mid lane right now.
For wave as well. Good work from Mako.
It is. It'll get some more gold over towards Gala. It does mean that they don't have pressure to actually go towards the Grubs themselves. Varus still in mid lane. Tristana gone bot lane. Doesn't have teleport just yet. Flandre going top side. You can see both teams allocating their lanes differently here. If Flandre can get level 6 for this, it would have made a difference, but obviously he doesn't now. JJ now alone in the pit.
Has to flash. Can't stick around for the smite. Wanted to do that and Q out. Couldn't quite. As Kyle was threatening with the steadfast presence. Could still go into the pit, but without that flash, it would be a one-way journey. So decides against it. That'll be Grubs over to anyone's legend.
Tarzan didn't even need to smite either of them, so he can use the smite for the last confirmation on the Grubs. IG getting ran around a little bit in the early game. I think strategically speaking, I think that the raw brawn is working out for IG as they've got, you know, killing their solo lanes.
The passive from Tarzan just nabbed one of the small raptors, by the way. I just saw his number tick up as he threw a swell suit over the pit to hit off the raptors.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, he went from 43 to 44. Always a little obnoxious when that happens, but just want to let you guys know. That's cute.
Good stuff. It's, yeah, I think that big thing which comes after this is Hope's gone for the poke, Varus, worth noting. But Hope's gone for
level
the poke
6. Careful. Going to hit level 6 very, very shortly. One more minion, I think, would do it, but it's not going to be there to get. Mako low, but overcomes Tarzan with level 6.
No cleanse.
There is no cleanse. Gala in danger as well, so he goes wide with a flash for the blooming blows. And a lilting lullaby after will be donating 2 kills to anyone's legend. 1 for the AD carry and 1 for the Lily.
Oh, it's not the jungle movie that IG wanted. It is Tarzan. 1-0-1. This Lilia ahead so far of the Sejuani. The Shy going to... Hang on, has to flash out of there. Has the Dirk. Is going for a very bursty Jace build. Not going towards the Black Cleaver. Wants to get just raw damage down. We'll see how much value he can get with that. But he's going to have to get that soon because this Lilia is starting to become a real threat. It's going to be an early Leandri's built through. And Tarzan is very far ahead of Jed. This is the jungle matchup we highlighted and said was so important.
Jace will get a plate here, but Kyle's roamed on down. Could theoretically punish the Shy without the flash, assuming the teleport's going through. In fact, the Shy is being ganked right now, but mid lane, Flandre's in danger as well. Both top lanes under siege. Rookie looking for this auto. The Permafrost comes on through bot side. It's a solo kill onto the Jace. That's hilarious from Kyle.
I think what ended up happening is Shanks teleported in, threatening a kill onto the Shy. So the Shy said, look, I'm going to die to Kyle instead under turret. So what he does there is just make sure that the Tristana doesn't get the gold. He'll have teleport. He'll get towards bot side. Well, I'm sure we'll see a recall of that. I think he was just caught out by the map rotation of Kyle. Well played from him to punish the Shy.
Yeah, we saw him coming up and I saw the teleports running alongside Tarzan there and I thought, well, the Shy is dead. To who? In the end, it does just end up being solely that Poppy. And over we look towards his Hextech Dragon that anyone's actually started, but here's the replay.
There is, I mean, we'll see the dive on top side because yeah, you were absolutely right calling this as it happened. XP advantage for Hope on the wave was really important. The last minion dies, he gets level 6, gets a crazy amount of damage down here, and of course Gala had blown his cleanse for nothing earlier, so he doesn't have it for hit. Gets out, well, tries to get out with the E in the flash and just goes down anyway, so good advantage now for Hope and Tarzan. And as we said here, there's a teleport coming onto the wave and the Shy gets caught out under it by Kyle. So it's less about Kyle's rotation and just more about the Shy overstaying.
He's been known to do that once or twice as a player. Rookie doing his best here, but is being chunked out a little bit by this Yone, or sorry, by this Tristana into the Yone. I think anyone who's watching LEC last night will have some memories of Jojo doing very similar things to Camilo.
JJ's really getting ran by Kyle. Kyle's really active on the map, man.
Being steadfast present available, Mako not coming on over. I don't know how exactly this one plays out. As over comes Hope and Tarzan. This looks like a 3v4, but over comes Shy. Makes that a bit more of an even moment as people were moving all over the top side of the map there.
Yeah. No one in the LPL moves like anyone's Legends do on the map. I think that Kyle is maybe our best support in the league at that kind of macro play. Trade from the Shy, but really anyone's Legend, I think they're flexing their strategic mental muscles here. The way that they've assigned their lanes, different from IG. The way that Kyle's moved around the map to catch IG off guard. The way that Tarzan's been invading, getting value. This is stuff that only anyone's Legend do within the LPL. We were worried about what would happen to this team without lane swaps because they use them so well. And I do think that we've seen the individual laning Brawn potentially go to the side of IG. I mean, the Shy on the Jace doing crazy work in the 1v1. It has been through map movements where AL have found their advantages.
Will continue to be a thing when you've got double AD carries, when you've got the Lilia. If you can keep allowing Tarzan to menace JJ, have Kyle menace JJ, it makes it a lot harder for them to play the game out. Heading towards these grubs, be 6 over and denying them from, say, this Jace in particular, giving them to your Tristana. That sounds pretty good. Well, at least I suspect be able to pick up 4 here. JJ debating hopping over. He's got a Blast Cone and an Arctic Assault. Looks to go on him. We'll look for a Smite fight. Misses the Swell Seed. One taken by IG.
Oh, there they go.
Glacial Prison. Tarzan is no longer the king of the jungle. The heal as Kyle with a wonderful look at that Keeper's Verdict. A flash away from Rookie's put into a lilting lullaby. Tarzan times it well. Rookie now in danger. On the wrong end of a draw the bead and the rapid fire happening. Q3 away. Buster shot not quite enough. Over comes Mako. Knock up as I think anyone's Legend have gone too far. Shanks is shanked. And they'll get a kill elsewhere as finally Hope brings down the Yone. A 1-for-1, all things said and done.
The Rookie gets busted and Buster shotted around a bit. Gets caught out by Hope, who roamed over from the mid lane. The Shy is alone in the side lane as well on bot side. Kyle is doing the Lord's work for anyone's Legend. So crucial that he hit that ultimate. Makes it more of an even trade. However, IG, we had this conversation before saying, well, you know, it does feel like it is map movement versus the Brawn of IG, which worked out well from there. Kyle, again, active on the map. Almost catching out the Shy with a wall stun there, but he walks away from it. So he's not in range for that shunt there. IG, even in gold, do get 2 grubs, importantly. So no 6 grubs. IG giving some questions to anyone's Legend. Starts off with JJ hopping over, understanding you can get one of those down, and they can get themselves a great combo onto here. But Kyle with the triple ult. How the hell does he hit that? Saves his jungler and opens up some options for them.
Tarzan gets 5, and then Shanks goes a bit deep looking for Rookie. As over comes the rest of IG to defend their mid lane. The thing is, Rookie's still low, and Hope is going to have a wonderful arrow with a flash to secure the kill regardless. But it does end up being a 1-for-1. And in still, IG get 2 of the grubs. They do break that full stack.
Yeah, I think Kyle might be the best support in the LPL right now, folks. I think Kyle has been so goddamn good about moving around the map. I think his Poppy as well as a champion, which he does very, very well on. I've had concerns about LPL support pool. I think that On has been inconsistent. Of course, he has been the on-off switch. I think Mako has been a choker. I think that Crisp has also been on that list too. Yeah. I think Kyle is one of those players I want to see this level of play from more. His movements around the map this game have been absolutely critical. It might not be enough still. IG are even in gold, and I'm quite scared of players like Rookie getting leads like this.
Finds a big chunk. Spirit Cleave's still there, and the bomb will pop as he hops back to his soul. I didn't bother going for the Holy Hand Grenade that time. I'm just keeping Alex on his toes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see if we can actually get the perfect Holy Hand Grenade call at some point in this game.
Get ready to clip it, guys. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Or we will never land it, and it will just be that white whale, the one that got away. Tarzan back out on the map. Of course, he's got himself that Leandries and good gold lead. Gets himself onto Mako.
How aggressive does he want to play this? JJ's coming around. There's a bounce from the Pulverize. Kyle now
Teleport coming in from
playing
Tristana
as well. Chunk onto Mako. Does have the ult to burn. There's the Lilting Lullaby. Will deny part of that seed, but now JJ is in danger. Will have the opportunity to Arctic Assault away potentially. Throws out the Glacier Prison that goes well wide. And ends up being a trade of some ults, but no one dies.
And importantly, plays like this, I really want to highlight this now. We've seen a lot of focus onto the Shy pretty much at all times in every game. When you miss ults like that, or you have to use ults like that, you get... Hang on a second, that's a Wallstone. He's going for the solo kill!
He gets to knock him and gets it! Gorgeous, and there's even an assist over to Shanks. Fate sealed away. Rookie trying to get out to safety and will do so, but Kyle...
What the hell? This guy's been absolutely superb. Kyle's Poppy is making an impact. I was about to say, well, you know, when you fail to make those plays, it gives the Shy a chance on this Jace who's going towards lethality to open up advantages on the other side of the map. He's 1,000 gold ahead in the top lane matchup, and we haven't spoken about that since AL tried to shut him down earlier. That is a problem. That is a problem. The fact that Kyle gets himself this play and opens up Shanks to use those 4 grubs on the Tristana on the turret makes things much more interesting for anyone's legend.
Dragon spawns. Be second for anyone's legend, but I think with the way they've set up the map, that's unlikely to go over as IG come on and look to play this. Important to note as well, that was first turret. They already got the first 3 kills. That's feats of strength over as well. So a nice little sequence there for anyone's legend to get themselves a meaningful lead for the first time this game.
This is the matchup to go back, rewind this VOD, play it in 0.5 speed or 2.5, you know, just go scrub through it again and again and see why anyone's legend are moving the way that they are and how they mess with IG and where they think Kyle's going to be on the map, where they think Tarzan is going to make the next play. IG do have some decent power spikes coming up. The one item and a bit on the Shy's nasty. Another Wallstone from Kyle, catches that Mega, forces the flash.
This is great stuff. This jungle support, so terrifying this game. There's 5 members down towards the bot lane. Chains of Corruption land. The damage now on the backside is Mako, forced to ult. The will is unbreakable, but the health bars very much are. And how long can he be that stern? Shy stepping on forward, public execution goes on in. Bassi still gets a double pulverize, will not matter as the Shy is dead. Anyone's legend are exploding this game.
All starts again because Kyle blows Mako's combat ability. Says, all right, you know, you're going to lose your flash, lose your ult after the ult are thrown at him too. 3 for none across the map. IG were pushing different lanes, but the 3 kills and the turret over to Shanks, anyone's legend continue to move around the map better. They are our strategist team amongst our top echelons of the LPL, and they're showing it against IG here.
Gonna pick up a dragon as well to make sure they are stacking those. It's a great plays, and you know, you were saying you reckon Kyle might be the best support in the LPL. I feel like as a jungle support duo, Tarzan and Kyle are our best jungle support duo. They are the most interesting on the map by far.
Would very much agree with that. You know, I think I have a lot of love for Canavi regionally. I think that players like TN and Tarzan individually obviously fantastic on their own right. But the support jungle duo is such a fine art within League of Legends, and one I think that the LPL has fallen behind the LCK on quite a lot in recent years. Having a moment like this from Tarzan and Kyle to force plays and just stop IG from being able to hit multiple turrets at once is really, really important. Going into the picture-in-picture, Flandre is caught out on top side. Here comes Kyle again.
Another knockaway means JJ can't secure the kill. Rookie's still coming on over. Could look to get a stun onto Kyle. Doesn't want to burst too much. The flash will burn the flash in trade. Permafrost not stacked now. JJ in a 1v3. The wall ult is wide and the wall start after. Kyle is just better. And now the rest of Invictus Gaming are once again Invictus roadkill. Every highway they drive down, anyone's legend splatter. IG.
Life is a highway and death is too. That one only leads to the river Styx. So IG once again outplayed by Kyle on the Poppy. Anyone's legend using the little yodel with a hammer to lead the charge. Herald will go over to them. So much gold onto key members now of anyone's legend as well.
I mean, I'm waiting for this replay, but there's a reason it's named The Highway to Hell, and it's played by the ACADC. The two of them are so fed this game. 3-2, 4-0. This play is silly.
Do you think, Brad, do you think Angus Young would be at ADC? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. For those of you that don't like ACDC, I apologize. We're going to keep riffing about that.
Oh, yeah,
Kyle,
definitely.
fantastic play away from here. Gets himself away from the permafrost being activated on him. JJ's overextended at that point. Rookie misses the ult. Even if he had hit it, he would have been in wallstone range. But he feels like he's trapped into the play as well. IG, they are just getting outplayed on the map and now in the mechanics too. That's a problem.
This game was close. It was a knife fight. The Shy was getting big individual leads. He's still up nearly 1,000 gold despite being 1-3, my goat. But it's still looking ugly. Shanks
This could be big, because remember, the one person on IG who does have a lead is the Shy. Double lethality.
Does miss it, but still going on. Oh my god, the turnaround is huge. Rocky jumping forward, looking for the auto, the thundering blow away, but the repeated autos flash on forwards, and Dragon Tamer Tristana tames the Shy.
The Shy misses the shock blast, and, well, Shanks doesn't have a chance to miss his. All of his stuff is point and click. IG, their most fed member, caught out Hope. Ooh. Has a Mikhails for him, uses the Ghost Blade, and he's out safe too. IG are running out of options, and once again, Kyle saves the play. He has the Mikhails. It's a Mikhails Poppy. I didn't even know she built that item. I don't even know if IG knew she built that item. So important there.
That is pretty ridiculous. And suddenly, locking down one of these AD carries, whoever you do finally lock down, will you keep them locked down?
Like, are you kidding me? Just Kyle is wall stunning, 3-man ulting with people either side of him on the Poppy. He's getting solo kills, basically. And he just Captain Jacked his ADC with the Mikhails, which has a lag time. This player is absolutely blowing my mind right now. I've always respected Kyle. This, though, is just something else.
Someone go ping Chronicler and Orcs. Make sure they see these clips, because the LCK crew, and Orcs obviously being a former pro support player himself, I want him to see that their boy is still doing well. The support has got hands.
And this is the thing. Look, Kyle, when he left the LCK, people were confused. They were like, well, why the hell? He's looking good over here. And we always knew he could be top tier, again, on any team in the LPL. And I think with his tenure over here, he has continued going from strength to strength. I think when Croco and Kyle came as a pair to Anyone's Legend to join the carry duo of Shanks and Hope, which had stayed together through Anyone's Legend and also Team WE before that, we thought we might be onto something. Tarzan came forward there, and Kyle really started to come to life. He gets another play onto JJ. Doesn't have a flash. There's a chance this leads to something more. Once again, Kyle starts to play, and AL flourish.
And they've got Atacon right there. The jungler is dead. I don't think Invictus Gaming can play this. I wondered what form we get these teams in, and it was a close early game. The problem is the mid game has been anything but. Rookie will unbind his soul to try and clear the wave. Doesn't even manage to do that properly.
The way that IG come back in these kind of games is catching you out, and if you do fail to make a play on one side of the map, they very quickly pounce and push both other lanes at once. Anyone's Legend have been so quick and precise at making plays that IG can't use their typical comeback weapon to mount a defense in this game. Anyone's Legend, this is a fantastic performance from them. They looked shaky versus top esports. I'm sure they really kicked themselves after what should have been a 2-0. They threw a late game situation against them. Here against IG, it feels like they're taking no prisoners.
Over we go. 13 seconds on Dragon. Anyone's Legend, this will be sole point for them, and they are the ones in the river first. They've got the Atacon. It was a ruinous Atacon. I don't think that should be a surprise with how the game has played out. That means all of those extra blood petals and the damage they've already picked up from things like grubs and dragons and all those juicy things, very, very amplified right now. Kyle doesn't get hit by anything there.
Tarzan is a 2.5 level lead in jungle.
Oh,
partly
boy.
because of those flowers, but partly just because of all of his pathing around the place. Now, IG, this is their chance. 5v5. Can you, against the gold lead, against the XP lead, show us your brawn, show us your strength? Shy's on the side. What have IG got for us?
Now or never. The Shock Blast lands onto Shanks, but it's only 10% of his HP. Not that meaningful yet. The Glacial Person is immediately cleansed. Mako goes on in. The Fate Sealed after is actually really solid. Kyle not quite dead. Little thing comes through. It's a good steal from JJ. But the turnaround damage to 1-for-1 right now. Into the backside goes Blondre. The public execution brings the Yone down as Hope springs Eternal alongside Shanks. The blooming blows. Not quite enough to finish off Mako, but the damage is still critical. The burn still comes through to finish off Mako. Gala alone survives.
And he really doesn't have the weapons for the job here. Anyone's Legend lose the dragon, win the fight. I think they're happy to stick out on the map. Yes, losing that dragon for soul point could have been a lot worse. Gala slightly just shorting there. Now Shanks can jump
count to
forwards.
3. 1, 2, and not anymore. And Gala gets away with
Hope.
it. Loses half his HP. Hope now looking all the while. The one piercing arrow tried to reach the hot. Does no Val will not still be able to get out live. And Hope finishes off what his mid laner started.
Anyone's Legend, such a clean game from them. Teleport now in though. IG looking to pick up something before Anyone's Legend can come back onto the map.
Hope has got flash. Will get the blast. Can't quite get there in time. Still dragging away. Yonig does get the 1,000 gold shut down, but pops straight back into 3. Mako now in that 1v3. Shanks trying to stay alive. A jump away will keep the Shy alive, but JJ are now 1v3 again. Means they will die as well. They get Shanks, they get Hope, but they'll lose 3 again.
You see what IG are looking for. They want to kill Anyone's Legend before they get to back and spend their gold. And they do get 2 big shutdowns. That is good gold coming over, but it feels like it's too little too late.
It's so hard to pick up these random kills. The Shy is very lucky to get out with his life. Had to blow his flash as well. You know, he's got another game where I'm sure a lot of people look at the KDA and go, well, what the hell is the Shy doing? I actually think he's had to play this riskily for a lot of this game because what the hell is the rest of his team going to be able to do? They don't have the tools for the job. This fight, they get themselves the dragon, but the damage just never goes onto the carries. There is a combo which tries to shut down the Lilia before she can make a big play. It's one of the problems.
No!
You have to make that. Krugs. Don't do Krugs, kids. They'll do you.
Yeah, the Krug trade is always risky, and doesn't work out that time for Mako. Rookie goes all in to finish off the 1 kill, and that's nice, but look where he's popping back to. Middle of multiple people, immediately hit with the blooming blows, and Kyle knock him into the wall, and it's just a split-off fight, and the Shy has to try and flash away to safety. It becomes a very messy state of affairs.
You know what? I'm going to call myself out here a little bit, or rather just, I'm going to repeat something which I said earlier. I was worried about Anyone's Legend when they didn't have lane swaps. When I looked at top esports or Anyone's Legends going to first stand, knowing that lane swaps would be removed, I wanted, even though with the curse of top esports, if they, on regional level, it should have been top esports going because of their strength of regular lanes, because of how much better it felt like they were at that point. And I thought Anyone's Legend could struggle with that. Hang on a second, the Shy, you don't win this. This is a bit of a problem there, isn't it? But yeah, Anyone's Legend, I thought that in terms of individual pound for pound, they lacked some of that mechanical brawn which other top teams had. Right here, though, really showing that their strategy can overcome that, and they're still damn brawny as well.
Q3 from Rookie is buffered through by the rocket jump. The turret, though, is likely dead on the next wave. There's not really all that much IG can do about it unless they want to blow every ult they have. They're on a ward right now. Q lands into Kyle, and that's something from Gala, but the Mystic shots just aren't doing that much damage right now.
Also, a reminder, we said that IG probably came out with a good draft, better draft even.
Yeah.
I thought that they had winning lanes. The Varus's going to miss, or rather that was the arrow. Mako's caught out.
How much further do they want to go? Lilia does have that ability to keep chasing. The moment she starts getting those passive stacks, she's very speedy. Lands another swirl seed. That's the ult pop, but the burn still coming on through. Rookie looking to punish. Now looking for his own angle in, but there's a bomb on top of his head. Flash. Heroic charge into the wall. Knock up after with the keeper's verdict. They do kill off Kyle, though, as a good shot from Gala punishes him for the first time in a long, long while.
Yeah, first death for Kyle in a very long period of time. IG, so you managed to get something out of that, but it feels like they have to work so hard to climb inches up the mountain they have to climb. Anyone's Legend, 6 going on 7,000 gold ahead of Invictus Gaming. Minute until Dragon. IG might try and say, well, okay, we can 5v5. We did say, look, IG probably for us had the better composition. They had the melee synergy with Sejuani. Good lanes. No, got a good ability to play from the Jace Ezreal range later into the game. That just never really became a factor, though, because Anyone's Legend took their Lilia, the early jungle advantage, and said, you won't be able to play fair. We will be roaming around the map quicker. We'll be ahead in the jungle matchup. We'll be constantly clearing through your jungle and ours at the same time. And IG, they've been left with precious few opportunities to really show off in a 5v5.
Lilia still 2 levels up. Shanks is 2 levels up. Flandre only the level up, but still significant. A lot of that, again, is getting a lot of those blood petals after the Ruinous Atakan. Helps accelerate that, but it's still a tricky position to find yourself in. At least we're starting to get towards some meaningful items here from Invictus Gaming. 3rd item's done for the Shy with the Serpent's Fang. Pretty good in the 1v1 versus the Ambessa with the Repudiation and the Eclipse shields, but not that many shields outside of that to really be bringing low, but I see why it's been built nonetheless.
So, well, Dragon's now up. IG, do they give up a Dragon? Say we can scale a bit? IG might need to be in that situation now, where they're playing Smoke and Mirrors, trying to get something out of side lanes and to buy a little bit of time. Maybe get a 3rd item in Yone. Maybe get a 4th item. Well, I don't know if you're going to get to that point on Gala. He has the 3 items. It's powerful
He just
for him.
completed the Shojin now, yeah.
Which is helpful. They do have the items to deal the damage. They get themselves a objective bounty there too. They can't afford to let the Baron go over, I don't think. That one, I think, is a no-go. And there's 5 minutes until the Dragon. Good time that they can spend trying to accrue some resources around the place. But it does feel like IG are in full Smoke and Mirrors mode.
They really are, and that's their first turret of the game we just saw them take there, which is a bit sad considering you're running a Jace. He was shoving up quite a lot early on. It's just not happened. The Tristana has been the better turret taker this time around at 3 items with the upgraded steel caps. It's
Speaking of the upgraded steel caps, of course, it hasn't been upgraded.
Sorry, they're like
so it's the extra stats on, yes, the feats of strength. And of course, he has gone for steel caps, as has Flandre, and we thought, well, if they go steel caps, surely doesn't that mean that Sejuani has an easier time to get in with the CC? Well, there's a Mikhail's now for Poppy, so you don't have to worry about that. You can cleanse out that first target from Sejuani ultimate. There is a catch onto Tarzan currently, but no follow-up. Mega needs to be careful not to get hit by that Swell Seed, already taken enough damage. IG playing for picks now.
Shy hanging around on a control wall, just seeing if anyone over chases into a bush. Instead, we'll look to clean up this wave. That becomes anyone's legend into the red side jungle of Invictus Gaming. Reminder, Baron is up. Vision control right now, pretty securely in anyone's legend's favor. There's that one control ward that the Shy was sitting on. That's about it, and over they come. They're aware that something could be happening as a TP does come through.
Now, you do have the Poke Virus, you have the Swirl Seeds, and you have the Vision advantage. AL will look to chunk a couple of HP bars and force IG to get...
Here we go.
Maybe teleport into the play using the Ezreal to check for Vision. They see it's going down.
JJ is here. Over comes Invictus.
Oh, they punt out the Sejuani.
It's over. That's Baron. There's no way of stopping. What is it about a fight after Kyle? Low but not down. Potential angle for a Swirl Seed. And a lilting lullaby, but it only really catches on to Mako. So Baron secured with another wonderful ult from Kyle.
Kyle, 10 out of 10. There's nothing more this Poppy can do, actually. This Poppy has done absolutely everything this game. I suppose getting 2. Well, no, they even got the kills under turret. Oh, whatever. They did everything. They've done so much. Oh, IG trying to just rip through their jungle to get something off the map before it's denied from them by the Baron push. If anyone's legend, the Baron buff will not overlap with the Dragon spawn, but IG won't exactly have a chance to move out of their base to put down much setup before anyone's legend kind of pin them into it, recall and go towards the Dragon in those few minutes.
That's exactly it. Yone shoving up bot side. Sejuani's there too. Needs to back away just a little. As with Bascom, we'll get them down to safety. But here comes the rest of anyone's legend. How aggressively do they want to shove this? Control ward spotted out and taken out. Anyone's legend will begin the siege. They've only got one tier 2 remaining to Invictus Gaming. Chains of Corruption goes wide. Ghostblade popped as well.
2 minutes now on the Dragon timer. No third item for Rookie. Doesn't have that Infinity Edge. Flandre off the Vision. Spotted now. They sort of started on the spot side there. Feels like any one mistake by IG now just ends the game. And this is very, very tense. Of course, they're expected to lose. They're 7,000 down, gold down. They're against an Infernal Soul point. But this is Invictus Gaming. They've known to have a miracle team fight or two in their time. That's one ult coming through.
Trying to get the damage down. Kyle is in danger. Gets a big knock up though with the Keeper's Verdict. And now the turret comes through. There's a lilting lullaby. Perfect execution is Arcane shifted away from, but they're not done yet. Anyone's legend tried to chase for more, but Invictus Gaming managed to back away, but they're down 3 members. There's a Baron buff. How aggressive do you want to play? They've got TPs available too.
IG wanted to pick off the Mikhail's user because they can't cleanse themselves as easily as other people, and they can't kill him in time. Gets a huge turnaround, and I think this is the mistake which costs IG the game. Though let's be honest, it's been heading that way for a while.
A fate sealed in a dream. Can Rookie find absolutely everyone? 20 seconds on the Shy. Mako back up and alive. Can look for a flash play, but Flandre's having none of it. Immediately begins to lacerate forwards. Mako finds a big play. Rookie doesn't get as much value as he hoped for as Kyle just flashes out to safety. A last gasp effort is just them breathing in water. They drown in this game as anyone's legend will suffocate them out as the game goes on. First one is there.
Guess Rakan can get caught out by Nautilus quite easily. I was wondering whether it would be Rel takeaway by anyone's legend, but instead it's actually the Nautilus takeaway from IG. Through a different flex of things. IG. Shogath Q on top of the Vial. Quite good long-range follow-up. Of course, Nautilus can do the same with his ult too. Anyone's legend. Strong AP backliners. Well, I guess Kaiser's probably going likely AD here, actually, because you've got the Talia through that as well. IG... probably more damage, well, definitely more damage on the table. Both teams likely playing towards a degree of front to back. However, I think anyone's legend have ways to create extra angles. The Talia wall on one side, Sion coming in from the back of the fight. Kaiser flying in over the top. Come out onto the Rift. We'll look to see how far this series goes. Was that Hanwha? I thought I heard an OMG Joe in there as well. Mixed crowd, of course. Rookie. Backing off from quick trade onto him. Will be able to get himself a recall in time, go up to full HP. Ah, will he though? Rookie recalling a little too close to Shanks. Cancelled out there. Gala, Mako. Spot and evade coming through here. Kyle gets the CC, but can't stop the Spider Naut away.
Spider Naut. Spider Naut. Does whatever a Spider Naut can. Can he dredge up a fish? Yes, he can. Because he's a...
Support from Wish.
Support from Wish? No!
It's the only thing which rhymed, Sam. Okay, so Anyone's Legend get themselves the level 1 invade again. We said, hey, last game. Anyone's Legend, great level 1 to get jungle ahead of the game. Vi is not a champion that can fight at level 1. Really needs to get level 3. And this is so much, this is really championed by I'll Dominate and Gilius. They talk about that a lot. Level 2 hit from Giorgio can get the Q over the wall. Wants to skip over vision if you can.
Spotted.
Isn't spotted now. I think Tarzan very likely to know that there will be quadrant for quadrant trade. Just means he gets to be on bot side to help out his bot lane. And if the Kai'Sa gets online, it's particularly Hope's Kai'Sa, that is kind of huge.
Yes, it is. And again, the Scion, very happy to play weak side. Even if he dies, he'll still clear the wave. The Shire running with the Broken Covenant Cho'Gath, which is one of the coolest damn skins in the game.
Oh, it's basically just a Bloodborne boss. It's fantastic.
It is. I mean, the whole skin line's fun.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, the problem with the Cho'Gath... Hang on a second. He's actually getting good damage here. I don't know what... Oh, he's gone for Grasp. He's not going for the Halo Blades stuff. Now, we will see what build it is. We've seen some Shurelias. Gala, they want to get a chunk out here if they can before AL potentially set up for a dive. The more damage they get now, the more potentially they don't have to do in a tower dive situation later. I think with the damage they've done means that AL unlikely to go for a 3v2 under that tower. Rookie trying to just count the mana of Shanks. Yeah, good E there to trade back.
Good chunk. Early resets from both mid laners who've been trading very, very heavily early on.
Well, Rookie's not resetting right now. He's going to push out another wave. Knows GJ is hanging close by to his lane. So he can push out another wave. Might need to be a little careful here. He might actually lose the cannon for this. That would be a little annoying.
Yeah, that TP onto it means that Rookie can't stay for it. And he is,
Oh, is he? You can hit him with the E?
Can't get in range.
A little shame. I think basically he was worried that Shanks would flash beyond the wave, get phase rush, and chase him down. So didn't want to chance that. Good silence from the Shy. Of course, Cho'Gath has a lot of % HP damage. We'll see what build he goes for. There is a Shurelia's build. There's a lot of random stuff. So we'll see what he goes up to here.
Cho'Gath's cooldowns can sometimes be a bit obnoxious. But that Feral Scream in particular, one of the few remaining basic ability silences in the game, and it is very potent.
Yep. The other one's Malzahar Q. Everything else is... Well, I mean, technically there are some other mini silences and stuff out there, but... You know, like Kassadin Q, technically a mini silence.
Oh, what's Malzahar's Q called again?
I don't know, something of the Void.
Call of the Void,
That's, yeah. Hope resetting, going topside very quickly, actually. Is he trying to... What? I guess they're resetting... They're changing the lane assignments. Flandre can go down towards bot side. He gets the recall off. Hope gets up towards top side. Anyone's Legends, again, they're the only real team in the LPL which mess around with lane assignments in the way that they do. They've been very effective at making sure that enemy teams don't get the parts of power spikes in laning phase that they really want to. Of course, this was very apparent in the lane swap meta. But here, without lane swaps, having to play out the first few levels of the game, they're still showing some proficiency in that.
We have seen a number of teams kind of use this timer just before Grubs to get their bot lanes into different places, get out of things like Callista lanes. You just have to wait until level 4 or so before you can pull it off, so the early lane can still kind of suck.
Soraka silences 2 Angie points at check. Does make sense. Soraka silence. This
Equinox.
is kind of broken. Yep, kind of broken. But yeah, there are some channel cancels which are kind of fun, which is technically like a one-tick silence, which means that it will cancel any abilities that you're using.
I was trying to remember what the rest of Malzahar's basic abilities were. The problem is the dot I know by a name that's very inappropriate for
What, Malefic Visions?
Malefic Visions, that's the correct term. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember what it was called. I just knew it by the meme names. As Shanks sidestepping some of that damage and can't quite find the threaded volley of his own right, as Kyle was looking for a full tilt angle into mid lane.
Rookie was actually doing quite well there to dodge out on the skill shots. Dropping a little bit of CS in the way that you sometimes do, because you lose wave control against Talia quite often. Depends how well you are at hitting the wave and the enemy champion if you do want to push. Got that Scion versus the Misfortune. Again, anyone's Legend. Really content to just have Flandre move around the map away from the Cho'Gath, who's meant to be there as the tank lane bully. This is one of the ways that you can deny those kind of specific niche counterpicks. Say, well, actually, if it's only a laning counterpick, why should I care? I'll swap away from it as soon as I'm able to.
Of course, Kai'Sa, not bad at dealing with tanks with her passive and the Q and all these things. However, I feel like this game, if Hope ults badly, Hope positions badly into a comp with Gravity Fields and Feral Screams and Vi as a character.
Vi Nautilus.
Yeah, there is a world where Hope dives in and just gets blasted.
Which is why I was a little bit worried, kind of locking it in on 4. I thought, well, you know, it's a chance that you kind of get bullied in lane, and we see that there is a slight, well, there's no real lead on the bot side, but there's a chance of that. And then there's a worry of going into Vi, and then a hard CC support, which is going to make your life really hellish. Of course, hasn't gone for the cleanse, because there's no point going against the Nautilus and the Vipe. Has the barrier, which will help him in some situations. Mako here just stop the Shy getting dope, but they go on to Mako misses his hook.
Oh, missed the hook. That means he's surely dead. The knock-up, though, with the double rupture. Flash away. They get the kill regardless. Feral Scream, not quite in time. Now Shanks here in a 1v4 as the Shy. He's got a feast, but I think it might just be his death row meal. Kyle just out alive. There is not enough on there to work with. 3 seconds before the feast could come up and be useful. And so a double kill over to anyone's legend on the bot side.
Mako flubs it. What can you say to that? Mako misses his hook onto the tower, so doesn't have the cooldown, doesn't have it at half cooldown, and doesn't escape the pick onto him. Anyone's legend, really well played to say, look, we can't kill the Cho'Gath at this time point, once he's under the turret, but we can kill the Nautilus. Kyle, great combo onto him. Oh, he cancels it out anyway. It would have had the knock-up timing. Would have been dragged away, then stopped, because of course the way the League of Legends works is the last displacement activated on you is the one which works. And Kyle stops the hook from being the last one, makes sure it's his W instead, which comes down to that. Easy second dive. No ultimate, as you said, for the Cho'Gath. Had used it onto a minion a little earlier. Can use that for turnaround damage. IG, important set of kills for them.
Again, Kyle with some really clutch plays there. This guy is locked in today, and Mako had his ankles broken, or his anchor, I suppose in that case, broken. Didn't manage to get the pull out to safety.
It's worse. It's better than his uncle's broken. His uncles have been broken, Sam. Unk doesn't know how to survive tower dives anymore. I do think, though, anyone's legend continuing to show how good they are at, even in the very early game, making sure that the map is mobile, making sure there's a dynamic jungle support moving across things and making plays happen. This is why people are excited about anyone's legend as a team. No, they didn't make it through the first stand, but they did make it to finals. A place which anyone's legend and their entire lineage has never made before. Rogue Warriors got close, I think, before with the Durnby roster, which used to be what anyone's legend were, but this roster maybe has something special going on for them. You know, you've got Tabe coming in, so many great players joining them. And while, yes, we can talk about Invictus Gaming being a super team, and seems that they might be going on towards that AD carry.
Bazal gets to find that passive proc, will do so, looking for a good Acathian rain angle. Here comes that ult from Sion, who yells cowards once more, a misfortune. Oh, it's her name, isn't it?
Anyone's legend, great play. And now Hope gets to get a free lane up here. Flandre, the thing is, what Flandre has now done is he's teleported to now immediately recall and go somewhere else. So he's not getting any farm here. Maybe the Shy can get some bonus there. Tarzan going towards the top side of the map. Kyle is here. Doesn't have level 6 just yet. Won't get her off this wave. Tarzan backing off from a play. I guess the Shy gets a bonus here. Gets to get it, I believe, use a Demolish on tower if he did end up taking that one. I presume he took that one. Don't really realize what he would take otherwise. But 2 plays there. The Cho'Gath getting a little spooky.
Just get a fair amount of value there, and again, will still be scary. And I think Gala holding onto his flash, saying, look, the teleport's come in. Even if I flash, I don't survive. I'm just going to hold on to it. I don't hate the choice. It's a bit frustrating. But again, with a Hope having flash, Flandre having flash, I think you're still dead regardless.
Yes.
So
No, there's no point in shot.
Yeah.
And also what you're trying to do is get the Cho'Gath so far ahead of the Sion that he can't side lane inversely later, and the Cho'Gath becomes a big threat. Going towards the Heartsteel as that first item. So he wants to get even more HP, of course. Cho'Gath ultimate scales off of his own HP. Another thing which happened with Cho'Gath, Axiom Arcanist affects his true damage on his ult, which means you get blown up from even higher HP, which is very scary. So the Shy, putting a lot of trust in his individual matchups. He's been picking for the individual matchups, going for the Electrocute Lethality Jace last game. He was a strong point in the individual lane, of course, couldn't capitalize on that. We'll see now, strong Cho'Gath. Can he capitalize on this strong matchup, or will he just end up being, 1-7 again like he was last game? I can't remember the scoreline, but something like that.
It was rough stuff. This game, however, it was legend. Stabilized the early game. The split map prevented the Misfortune Nautilus from bullying out the Kai'Sa. The Kai'Sa come out of lane just fine. It's behind a bit of CS, but 2 kills is in a great spot this game. The Misfortune is still waiting to get to that first item, whereas Hope is just casually sat at Kraken Slayer.
Powerful Kai'Sa. Flandre tries to wave clear as best he can. Uses the Soul Furnace shield. Not available to do much on top side. He wants to just cancel the Cho'Gath from teleporting. Ults come through.
Gala now flashed away. Shanks looking for an angle. Will have the seismic shove. Flash from Maker to avoid one and
Shanks.
gets a wonderful combo. And Shanks has gone too far looking for the bot lane. Now they've got the mid lane and missing. What happens to the rest of the fight?
There's a bullet time still. Cal trying to look for the cancel, but for once, misplays.
That's unfortunate. The rest of the play was going on as that rookie ult comes on through. The Arcane Storm does damage. They will finally bring down the Nautilus. Those Gala caught in the pit. No flash anymore, but they still make sure to take their lives dearly. Hope will fall. And in the end, IG come out. What is that? 4 for 2? Good value for them.
hell of a good value trade for them. Now, it will be JJ left alive to get the 6 grubs as well. A number of key things happen there. I think the biggest one is Shanks having just a god-awful ultimate into the middle of the team and then fail flashes to get over the wall. So not only does he throw himself into the abyss, he loses an important tool as well. After that, it felt like they just didn't have the damage. Talia is an important part of the damage profile for Anyone's Legend. Of course it is. It's your mid laner. You've lost 6 grubs now. IG are playing around, you know, a dominant Shogath side lane that can walk up to towers later. The 6 grubs will be very easily used by them. Shanks walks into the enemy team. JJ immediately pounces Mako on top of it too. Fail flash makes it even worse. Rookie doesn't even need to do that much to add to the kills. I think maybe they should have just left at this point. I think maybe they thought they'd gone a little too deep anyway. Also, Hope, was he just hooked out of his ult there? What the hell happened there?
I think he might have been Mako. That's glorious stuff. You'll take your death happily with that one. And then with the gravity field in the pit, there was nowhere for Hope to run, nowhere to outplay. And the kills come on through. Victor with his rower build at a great spot. The Misfortune picks up a kill, strutted away from a full tilt rel. Turns out Misfortune, even in heels in a swim costume, can outspeed a giant metal horse.
Ah, man, just built different. It's like a Yorkshire bird on a night out.
Yeah, powering down towards West Street Live in Sheffield. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. By the way, if you ever go to Sheffield in the United Kingdom and England, go to West Street Live and
order whatever's on the bar.
Tell me what it's like, because
do they still do pseudo quad vods?
No, that's Corporation.
Oh, that was Corp.
They don't do quad vods. Well, they used to sell quad vods, and then
Became illegal.
they were told not to. So what they did is they did a 3+1 vod with enough room the 3 for the 1 to make it into a... Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, you could self-medicate.
Yeah, yes, you could. Shogath has that heart still completed and feels he deserves a little treat. We'll see how many stacks he ends up get there. 4 right now. Of course, you get maximum of 6 on minions, so how much more we can go from that. Flandre might die here. Quite hard to kill. They might just kill the tower, then kill him.
They're going to try and get some damage back. Mako does take a bit of a chunk, gets out of turret range, but loses half the HP. Bar Flandre, decent knock him with Kyle now here with Tarzan. A lot of damage, but a lot of CC. Can they still delete this turret? That has to be the aim of the game. And Flandre will have wave clear. Probably a knock-up or 2 here to deny some of it. All the while, Shanks trying to trade up on that top side.
But he has 0 grubs, and IG have 6. So that will be first tower over to IG, and the gold goes to Gala. That's who they choose to give it over to. I think that makes sense. I think the sooner you get Gala towards Lord Dominic's regards, the better your game is going to be. You're likely to get a Black Cleaver on JJ. If he engages on someone, even if that is Sion at that point, and then there's a Lord Dominic's regards, then I think the tank front line just disappears. Tower will go down, and Shanks will return the favor of IG taking the bot lane out of tower. And we shall see if he really comes out ahead of that gold trade.
Well, this is another even game coming into the mid stages. 400 gold lead to Invictus Gaming. 6 Grubs versus 2 Dragons. It was looking very good for anyone's Legend, and then suddenly IG found a great 4-for-2 fights. Go from here. I suspect we'll be waiting for our next Dragon. Will probably be our next protocol, and maybe this Herald in 50 seconds as well.
Dragon and Herald, both important, yeah. With the 6 grubs, use the Herald, blow up in a turret somewhere. That's a bit of a problem. The more that IG can kind of threaten anyone's Legend across the map with their 6 grubs, the better it is for them. IG have typically been a team that do hit side lane turrets very well. If you make a play on one part of the map, IG spread themselves thin and they say, okay, we'll just farm more lanes than you, and we'll trust on someone to outplay on the weak side of the map, even if it does cause, you know, the Shy dying or whatever. They're okay with him buying time. Kind of same thing's happening here. Rookie dodges out on that knock-up.
Just out to a roar of a Slayer will throw one of his own minions at his face, and Rookie goes out and backs away.
There was a very fun, very fun bot lane which I used to play when I was in an amateur team in university, where we'd play. Hang on a second, Joe's gonna. Not that much damage. We used to play Sion with the Roar of the Slayer, but Sion Malzahar bot lane, because what you'd end up doing is you just end up firing the Malefic Visions minion right into their face, kill it, spread it onto them. Honestly, peak comedy. Herald's going to get taken down here by IG unless there's a
Feast Smite. Should be hard to beat, and it does go on over to the Shy, and the rest of IG as a result.
6 stacks, one of them being on that Tarzan, going forwards right now, trying to take a chunk out of Mako. The Shy is very tanky. You sure that's the guy you want to be fighting?
Flashes over the side mission because Blast going back towards the team. I think it went over the Unraveled Earth as well to get a bit of a stun on top of him. Over goes JJ with the Heartbreaker, Chaos and Danger. The bullet Death Chime across the choke point ensures that Kyle goes down. Decimating Smash comes on through, JJ low, but the Depth Charge will force Shanks to flash away. Dredgeline not quite in range. I think we'll back away with the man advantage for IG, though the health bar's not looking fantastic for either team.
Anyone's Legend massively overplay that, both at the second grubs and then in this play here. Anyone's Legend, I think, lose their mind a little bit in the team fights, and they overchase trying to rectify a bad situation. They'd already lost the Herald, and they overchase into a choke point against the 6-stack Cho'Gath. He's not going to die there quickly, and they end up wasting too much time. It means that IG's backline, long-range, AoE, choke point controlling carries can take it back out on them. Yeah, Hope's looking pretty okay in terms of his individual gold, and maybe you can play if there's enough time for him to dive onto an important target, but that time is not now. He really needs 2-3 items before he can maybe start turning the tides of a fight and become that assassin AD carry.
Mako needs to be very wary, gets crashed down onto that jungle support Joe we were talking about. Mako, that diving suit, that's what we were looking for, has a few holes inside it, as so does my sentence. But that's slightly irrelevant to the fact that Dragon is started by Anyone's Legend, and it would be sole point for them. I don't think IG can contest anymore,
That's
not
kind of
easily.
big. Yeah, this is big. This is big, because Anyone's Legend with a Mountain Soul, yeah, that makes it a lot harder to kill the Sign. It makes it a lot harder for you to deal with someone even like the Kai'Sa jumping into your backline as well. Should be that more hard to take down if she's trying to, you know, play the DPS race and kill one of your carries before you can kill her. We have often seen in this split, Dragons outweigh Grubs. IG will now need to use those 6 Grubs effectively to deny good entry towards that 4th Dragon, which Anyone's Legend are now hinging on.
Shy's walking on over. Decides to put a minor city up. And then it falls down again. The rise and fall of the Cho'Gath Empire in very short order.
God, that's such a big Cho'Gath already, man. Kyle, what out on one side?
Sure, how much as Hope comes on, and they really want to play this. Mako's in danger. Again, the Nautilus falls. Turnaround, though, comes on forward. Both sports gonna trade out as teleports come flying on through. Both top laners swift to join the party.
Yeah, that's a lot of tools now used. Flandre, maybe I'm going to... Oh, hang on, we'll see what happens to grab field. Rookie might be able to catch him up with stun. No, going to be that. And now there's the problem. Anyone's Legend, because they slip up a little bit, at threat of having the 6 Grubs come through, Herald is in range to charge up that charge onto the tower. However, it does mean that IG don't get auto attacks on the tower, so the makes it a little harder to take it down.
10% HP remaining, but not taken. Nice idea there from Anyone's Legend tonight. It was, in the end, still a 1-for-1 in terms of supports. Hope picks up one, Gala picks up the other. But Gala's now actually ahead of the gold, finally. He was behind a significant amount, so job done for IG in some ways of rectifying the ADC discrepancy. 3.5 minutes till something like Dragon will have Atakan in 25. It is once again ruinous. We see that a lot here in the LPL. Back towards mid lane, playing for this tier 1.
Cancel out of the queue.
Flandre in danger, trying to wave clear, gets cease and desisted, and the Arcane Storm helps secure the kill for Rookie. Zombie comes on down the other side. Tarzan, though, helps jump onto the Shy, and he's just dead!
So it ends up being, what, a 2-for-1? JJ takes an extra turret shot, and I don't know what the hell happened with the Shy, but he was isolated from his team, and though he's got a lot of HP, he is not unkillable. Anyone's Legend find a great fight off of a mistake from IG.
That's unfortunate, and that Cho'Gath, who was looking so menacing, isn't so scary when he's got turret shots on top of everything else. And Kai'Sa now, 2 items completed, is pretty good tank killing, and you've just lost your jungle and top laner. Atakan's up.
And that's going to buff up their dragons, which they have already. It'll give them a lot of the flowers to work with, too. Anyone's Legend picking up the piece of this, and IG might have just thrown a winning situation into a much more dire set of circumstances. They do take the tower afterwards, but it comes at a much higher cost than they would have thought. So this part is actually pretty good. They get a huge CC chain onto the Sign, who just doesn't get to play. That being said, Kyle gets another last bit of stun onto him, and the Shy just misses the memo. Maybe thought that the team would go under the turret and you could start trading aggro. Just not the case. IG didn't want any more of that fight. Even after the Sign had gone down, fighting into the zombies is actually very annoying. Now Anyone's Legend pick up the Atakan, get 40 flowers off the back of that, and they'll be at a bit of a stronger point as they fight for the next dragon, which could win the game for them.
It's only a 2-level advantage in jungle. Well, maybe just about 1 looking at that, as JJ literally ticks up as I speak about it, but that's still pretty difficult to manage, and suddenly Anyone's Legend in a much better spot, and I have to call it out now. This is 2 games in a row where Invictus Gaming have had significant errors of judgment in the mid-game to give control up to Anyone's Legend. I look at the series they lost against BOG, that game 2 where they were crazy head, overchase onto Bin, leave Gala out. A significant error of judgment in these mid-game fights, and it's costing them time and time again.
It's also not nearly the first game we've seen from the Shy who's had a burden put onto him, a responsibility put onto him to have a winning matchup and play it out well. And against BLG, you know, I think there was a Renekton game, there were some arguments there for him, you know, holding up the early game end of the bargain. I think that the second game on Aurora, if you didn't watch that series, that is a much more worrying state of affairs. Very, very far ahead on Aurora, which just didn't do anything after that one, just ended up throwing his lead. And then, of course, in this series, we've seen the Jace be ahead, but then die basically on cooldown as they started falling behind. And this Cho'Gath has yet to prove value, even with 6 grubs, with a potential side lane winning matchup, hasn't really been what his team's needed.
No, it is not. Dragon in 42 seconds. So Shy will have teleport. Does not have a second item though, but neither does Flandre. In fairness, the issue will be that if anyone's legend secure this, it will be soul, a mountain soul for a Scion for even people like this Shinzao and this Ral and the Seraphs on Shanks as well. Just killing these people in good order isn't going to be anywhere near as easy.
We'll say, of course, gold lead for IG still. Have every chance of walking away with a fight here. If IL do get themselves the soul, it's also buffed up by the Ruinous Atacant. Flandre engages onto the Cho'Gath. The fight's split, but that's going to be the Scion turned onto.
On the other side, though, Mako forced to flash away as Tarzan went looking. Now split off the rest of the time. Rookie has to go the other direction. Flandre is fine, but had to burn that flash. Teleport might be required.
Flandre's dead.
Run on, and that is going to be that death of the Scion. Gets a fair amount of work
I think they're going to try and burn down the dragon. Are they on it right now? What's the HP? If they get the smite, they get the soul. That is huge. The Shy has flash, has ult. They need to stop the Cho'Gath getting in range.
And they do. The Madness Storm buys time. Flandre will die again with the zombie. They lose Kael. And anyone's actually now on the retreat. There's Baron up in 2 minutes, but there's nothing else for IG to take. They need the fight, or 2 kills will not be worth. Cease and desist comes on in. Tarzan knocked up with the Rupture. Will likely die. Will have a Crescent Guard, but he will surely fall. Hope trying to speed away. Flashes out of the bullet time after. Into the Rupture! And suddenly they find a lot more. Anyone's legend on the retreat can't get out to safety.
Anyone's legend get themselves the Mountain Soul, and it is buffed up by that Ruinous Atacant, but it's not enough to overcome the amount of HP they lost to secure it. Big mistake from Flandre. He ends up getting caught out as a frontliner that just can't kind of cash in the check which it wrote for that very, very isolated dive. And I think after that, Invictus Gaming, with the amount of gold that they had, well, I say that. They actually haven't managed to claim that much off the back of it. That's actually a little bit of a worry. Cho'Gath stops the Sign Engage coming through. Well, maybe that's a good play from the Shy, actually. I'm not sure that Flandre expected the Cho'Gath to be exactly where he was. Then stays a little too forward, and Vi is actually an incredible tank killer. You can't stay there as a front line. He's completely destroyed by those denting blows and the excessive force. Flandre, yeah, they blasted that. It makes it much harder to actually play out the team fight. They do get the dragon. That's a permanent advantage. It is buffed up. The soul shield itself is buffed up by another 25% alongside the base stats, which they have. But of course, it doesn't save them in this fight.
See anyone's actually trying to split up. Tarzan cease and desisted. JJ still had that, so very easy to chase down onto Tarzan, who dies. The thing is, though, Baron's not up, Atacant's not up. They don't have that much in the way of waves to play with, so you get kills, and you're up, what, 3,000 gold? But is that Ruinous Atacant? Is that Mountain Soul? I'm not sure, Al.
And the thing is, Baron hadn't spawned until now. If they could have transitioned that from that point into the Baron, I think IG come out of that and say, look, we can at least snowball off of this and get to whatever. The kills is not enough alone.
No.
You know, I left out that fight thinking, wow, dopamine, great kills. One of the biggest things that I've been talking about this year in my cast and wherever you see me on broadcast is dopamine versus substance. The kills feel good, and it feels good seeing those HP bars go down in a moment like that. However, anyone's legend now have... Look how big those goddamn shields are. Look how nasty they are. And if they do get themselves
like
good resist, if they get themselves good resist afterwards, they will get buffed up by what, 5% per dragon, which is 25%. It's normally 4% resist. That's an extra 10% resist per item. Sion's gonna love that, despite being behind, and the rest of the team will not sniff that either.
And look, you've got a gold lead, but where is that gold lead? It's honestly mostly in the jungle, and that's great news. But your Shinzao is still ahead in levels, ironically, and still actually in a decent spot with 2 items himself. He's not exactly out of this game for all that the Vi is nearly at a third. That would be nice, but it's not game winning. Yes, rookie. Got himself a Seekers, 10-stack Dark Steel, Leandries. If there was anyone in this game who could manage a Mountain Soul onto a lot of tanks, I think this Victor, once he's level 16 as well, may well try and turn into a lore-accurate Arcane Herald, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, it's, you need that Void Staff, man. You need that Void Staff. We also said earlier on, you know, giving out a Tower Gold, stuff like Gala, really important to get towards Lord Dominic's regards and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not come through yet either. IG probably do need those certain breakpoints there. I do agree. There is a power spike yet to happen here from IG.
On the side of it though, Hope has got the Terminus done. He's a lot harder to manage. That's working really well with the Mountain Salt. You're already getting towards that Blighting Jewel for Shanks. Sion's got 2 items. Lock it down on Kyle. You are in a good spot this game. Of course, Elder on the table at some point. You have got things like the Cho'Gath, so you can cheat around those objectives with Smite and Feast combos that are arguably easier to pull off than, say, the Callista Smite combos.
Yeah, you just press one button at the same time. You don't need any setup for it, like the javelins going into it.
How many spears do I have in again?
Yeah. Oh, it'll do around 1,000 damage. We'll see.
Legitimately, that's an issue, though.
Misfortune just got that 3rd item we talked about. That Lord Dominus Regards is absolutely huge. Black Cleaver on Vi makes it even easier. Mako caught out. He's been struggling so far on the Nautilus, and that's half his HP.
Tarzan all day shots, and then comes Hope into the backside. JJ left up, he's going to cease it to simply going nowhere. He's surely just dead, can't heal enough. You've lost the Vi, split off for the rest of the team. Flash for the win becomes lightning onto the Audacious Charge again. And Rookie goes golden, but he is not first place in this game. That's for damn sure. Throws down an Arcane Storm, but no one gives a damn. The series ended 6 months ago, and this one is ending in about 5 minutes.
Anyone's Legend got themselves the soul, and they got themselves the engage angle. Tarzan flies into the backline and makes IG pay for walking up too far towards that Baron. Mako caught out at the start of it, and JJ having to kind of snap all in onto Hope. Now, the IG couldn't really pin the targets down that they wanted to. They didn't get the damage onto the carries that they needed. Anyone's Legend will get themselves the Baron after this, and I think now they are truly in the lead. Now, Mako goes for a hook onto Tarzan. I don't get it. I think Mako's really struggled in this series. I think that he's had a couple of series back-to-back now, which I've really questioned from him. The fact that the Nautilus is kind of caught out means that JJ feels like he has to all in. Right, we're going to lose our support. We can't just do that. We can't just lose our support for free. But then he just throws himself into the abyss too, and there's no one to kill the carries. Rookie tries to, but of course he's caught out. And he's not enough in the 1v2, especially against the Mountain Soul. Makes it so hard for him to turn around with this Chaos Storm.
Shy gets jumped up and dumped down, and look at the damage in the team fight. Good Lord, Tarzan, that's just hitting a lot of Sundered Sky. And
that is insane.
And Win becomes lightly across 5 people multiple times.
I mean, we saw like a... Okay, folks. We saw a 16,000 damage team fight from Ezreal the other day. I actually think a 6,000 damage team fight from Shin Zhao is
quite impressive.
Arguably more impressive at points, because that champion is melee and don't have that much damage compared to an Ezreal. Kyle caught out, but he does have the Mountain Soul.
To jump over this there, it actually gets knocked up, and I think he just goes down. Feasts help secure it, and suddenly you're down a member coming into Elder. That could be problematic. Flandre gets out of the rupture. They're still going to think about fighting this, or even down a member. They are very scary. Dredge line goes wide. Mako doesn't step into the decimating smash. The Shy, though, caught on the Unraveled Earth. Backside, the Rupture comes on up, but Hope still got the damn shield. Mako eats a bit of damage from the threaded volley, and the burn still hitting quite a lot. The range proving a little problematic here for IG.
2 hits on Tarzan, pops the ult early.
Crescent Guard comes on down, keeps him alive for now, but what about how long is that going to do? Something you want to do! JJ flashing on out, they get the kill. The Arcane Storm keeps going live. Open to the backside, going to get killed. Flash right as he gathering comes on in. Desperately trying to supercharge away, autoing for his life. Back into the Arcane Storm, gets a triple, and finally falls. Shanks alone against JJ and Gala. The smite is still up for Invictus Gaming, though.
JJ could just Q3, just use it on that. Shanks has the Mountain Shield. Again, Kyle coming back into the play after dying at the start of it. We are looking for a smite versus no smite, but it still feels flippy. JJ needs to be oh so careful. Here comes Kyle.
Trying to find an angle. JJ taking low. Gala's in danger. Seismic shove is onto him. Gala, it's the wrong kind of festival. Elder's taken, though, by the side of JJ. It was still aggro. They kill him off as well.
No one survives with the Elder, but at least Anyone's Legend don't get it from the perspective of IG. Kyle comes back after getting caught out at the setup for the objective. And with the Baron buff still on for another while, do you get a tower? No. Okay, we have completely neutralized. IG threw a little bit around the Baron. Anyone's Legend kind of returning the favor around the Elder. Lucky to get out of that with what I think ends up being neutral between the two objectives. Of course, Kyle caught out very early here. And the Cho'Gath locks in these tanks so nastily into this kind of play. No flash, of course. The Shy getting good value out of the Cho'Gath there in a way which we haven't necessarily in other ways. Hits another key rupture here. We were talking about, hey, big responsibility on the Shy to perform on this pick. This Q here very, very nearly wins them. Almost maybe even the entire game. Tarzan, quick on his ult, needed to pop that. If he didn't pop that ult, he would have been so dead so quickly. Of course, it only buys him a few seconds, but that's enough to allow Shanks and Tarzan a bit of value. Hope goes invisible after this, and that's obviously doesn't show up on the spectator. That's what saves him and allows him to get enough DPS onto Rookie to get a triple kill in the clutch.
And Shanks is still here with a lot of HP. Elder's still up, and they have to be very careful all the while. The Observer showed it. Kyle coming on down made this very scary indeed. Damage keeps on coming down. Gala stepping that way. The moment he gets caught by that seismic shove, it's all over. Yes, you got the Elder, but JJ just doesn't quite have enough DPS to get rid of Shanks, who still had the Seraph shield.
Okay, so only 1,000 gold in it at this point. So gold lead, not really that important. Of course, the neutral objectives for Anyone's Legend, kind of important. We talked about the resists gaining more value from the Ruinous Atacon and the Mountain Soul stacking up together. GA and a Terminus for Hope. I love what Hope is doing here, saying, look, I can get some extra resist from these items, which will be buffed up another 10% as well. Get the Mountain Soul on top of it to give me more effective HP. This Kai'Sa is bloody hard to deal with, and Rookie still doesn't have a Void Step. That is really important. Yes, the Gala gets some Armor Pen. Now, importantly, has a Serpent's Fang. Worth noting, that is a shield break for any kind of damage that you do. Even if you hit with the E, which is magic damage, some people assume it's only physical damage that the Serpent's Fang breaks your shield. It will still do that with the magic damage of the Make It Rain. So, Gala, important point now for him to shred those Mountain Shields a little more from Enyo's Legend.
The Shy as well, if I read the numbers on his, or read the number of delineations on his health bar, has over 6,000 HP on this Cho'Gath, by the way, as well. Look at that.
Yeah, we have some real beef. This is like arena mode, folks. If you've ever seen a Cho'Gath or a Scion with Black Hole Gauntlet, which kind of increases, it basically puts like an Aurelion Soul E on the floor, which scales with your size. You can cover half the map with a big enough Cho'Gath. It's kind of spooky.
The Event Horizon this game, possible still for this Cho'Gath. That perma-scaling with the Heartsteel and the stack, still very scary. Lockdown onto Tarzan, who is being jumped on, but the Weavers will split Mako off, has to flash one out to safety.
Mako, okay, I will give him for this point now. Earlier in the game, I'll criticize him more for what happened with his positioning. This point, though, hard to play a Nautilus against this much damage and this much tank in front of their carries as well. Mako is probably going to die one or two more times in crucial moments. And there's not that much you can do for it. Just needs to hope he can get the right ults onto the right target and give IG a fighting chance to take down one of these carries. Having a Seekers onto the Talia hurts again. The GA, we've already talked about that from Hope. Doesn't have to flash to reposition after he revives, but still something to talk about. 20 seconds till Baron, 2.5 until Elder.
Barrier, Mountain Soul, Terminus, and Guardian Angel alongside the ult and flash is a lot from Hope. Alongside things like that Locket, can be very, very difficult to kill off this Kai'Sa in good order. Level 17 as well, just does a lot with the base damages. What they were going to go for last will be something like a Bloodthirster.
We're bush baiting. We're bush baiting, and this is the kind of bush bait which can actually end the game. You can't pick off someone important enough and it changes. Kyle not caught out by the Q. Kai'Sa W spotting out the brushes.
Looking, couldn't quite find it.
Worth noting that Hope rather, doesn't have the W evolved with his build. Went for the Nashes, no extra AP on top of that, so if he doesn't get the reset on the W, can't use that to be ward. But say against a Cho'Gath kind of feels kind of crap anyway, so I'm not going to say it's the worst thing ever. And you are the only real physical damage threat into the late game. I say that was a 6,000 damage to your team fight from Shenzo earlier, but still, point stands. Those W's using for scouts. Mako forced out of the brush.
Hope has got a BF sword in inventory. I'm assuming with the build, it goes towards Infinity. Sorry, Bloodthirst rather than Infinity. There's not that much else crit elsewhere in the build right now.
I don't know. We'll see. Kai'Sa builds are wacky. Right, Dragon, Baron, no vision on it. Minute until that Dragon. This is about late game macro, folks. Many of these players have experienced a lot of that before. We have multiple world champions. Someone either side of the rifts to each other. Out of the fog of war!
JJ managed to queue away just about safety. Flandre went yelling cowards. Was probably the unstoppable onslaught. Does not do that much. On the other side, though, Shy has to flash away himself. He's caught on the other side. Flandre. Bullet time is good, but not enough. And they don't kill off Tarzan. Flandre gets to walk away, but you are down Cho'Gath for Invictus Gaming.
Once again, the front line is going a solo man mission. Each the hook misses from Mako, and Tarzan might get caught out by the wall. Here comes Shanks, but doesn't follow it too much.
Splits the team fight. Audacious charge into the 3 Talon strike means the Nautilus goes down again. Top and support out for the count. 30 seconds on Elder, but anyone's there to say we can rush both.
I think they can. You've got such high damage at this point in the game, and you've got a Kai'Sa with a Rage Blade. Yeah, this thing's going to absolutely melt. You don't have the best ability to go towards the bot side of the map, but I think IG already know they can't stay on that bot side of the map. They can't do that. They're pushing out waves because that's the best they've got. IG, they're battening down the hatches. Maybe Rookie can get a pick onto someone as they go towards the dragon, but remember, he doesn't have the Void Staff still. He's gone for this Roa build, which gives him a load of tankiness and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't give him Magic Pen, which against the Mountain Dragons is really a problem.
He's not even breaking the shield there. That Q did a few hundred damage over time. The Leandries is nice-ish, but you have got to do so much more work here right now.
Teleport into the play, the Shy respawning. Maker going to be up as well. So, IG, don't commit to anything on the spawn. Do let the Baron go over, anyone's legend. In bot side river. It's not necessarily a done deal just yet. Maker walking his way onto the map.
Here we go again. 36 minutes deep. Anyone's legend with Baron to their name for the second time this game. Bloodthirster just completed for Hope. Not here, but with the ultimate, and level 18 will be there very fast if he needs to.
Gives you that extra shield. If he gets hit by Misfortune, all of his shields will be halved, but when you get the Rage Blade, your lifesteal applies twice when you unlock the double on hits. It does affect lifesteal as well. So in the clutch, Terminus, Bloodthirster, Extra Resist, the Mountain Shield.
Yeah.
Hope is so hard to kill, and also has both summoners. Who doesn't have summoners? Mako the Shy, yeah, that's a problem. Flandre, yeah, he can also get caught into a play too. And Kyle, top and support for each team. Down important tools to get out of the meat grinder in the middle of the fight.
GG, a little bit more mobile, but he's down flash too. Vive flash could be critical when you're trying to play on blue side into the Elder Dragon. You've got to get in or out of that pit when you have a wall in the way. AL saying, look, we're the ones with Baron. You can try and wait us out here, try and force us to stance around that. Instead, we'll just walk towards it.
Oh, that's so scary. So scary. Shank's almost getting the catch over the wall. Q lands onto Hope, but I don't think he's going to land onto that much. Another Q green charge up by Sion.
Decent work. Threaded volleys coming to fly on through. There's not that much vision for it. We'll get to that point in the game where there's not that much room in inventory for pink cords.
No, and this is the kind of game where a random piece of CC can legitimately win or lose you this entire series. IG managed to land a Cho'Gath Q on someone important. Maybe they get picked off. Same kind of thing with Seismic Shove from that kind of range. Unlikely to throw someone into the fray before that. No one wants to get caught into the meat grinder. Dragon started up. Ale haven't swept the ward in the pit. Kyle gets a pick over the wall.
Mako taken low, flashed on forward to try and get a pick. It's onto the backline, but it's just not got any follow-up. Shanks is fine. All the way Flandre to the backside. Rookie has to go golden. 2/3 of HP already down. JJ down to the GA. Popped by the Acathian Raid in the passive. Flandre low but not dead. Might get feasted. The bullet time won't kill him. The Rupture's not there either. And they've killed off the jungler. Oh! Into the backside with the killer instinct. Will hop on forward supercharger. And when an Acathian rains, it pours. It's monsoon season here in the LPL. And Shanks picks up the rest.
It's a rain of rocks as the carries of Anyone's Legend, which have stuck by each other through thick and thin, through years, from WE to Anyone's Legend to taking down Invictus Gaming here. Anyone's Legend are finalists from Split 1, march towards the series end.
A bunch of players who some considered has-beens, a bunch of players who people thought would never be anything, might be one of the best down